Ratings can sometimes be flat-out disrespectful. Some Korean dramas push boundaries, challenge conventions, and offer something truly original only to get slapped with a sad little 6.3 ratings on IMDb or MyDramaList, and that too for not being a cheesy rom-com or predictable palace drama. So if you're tired of basic plot lines and just want something that hits differently, here are the 10 Korean dramas with terrible ratings but are actually masterpieces. Starting off with The Bequeathed, a masterclass in slow burn dread from Yoon Sung-ho, the visionary director behind Train to Busan and Hellbound. This one's short, strange, and soaked in eerie silence. The story begins simply enough. Yoon So-ha, a university lecturer, inherits a family burial ground from an uncle she never knew existed. This inheritance, however, comes with a tangled web of dark family secrets and the sudden appearance of a half-brother, igniting a series of sinister events in their small town. The Bequeathed is a show that demands patience, a quality many viewers rushing for the next plot twist seem to lack, which likely explains its bafflingly low rating. If you love creeping unease over cheap thrills, you'll find this series haunting in all the right ways. Not a crowd pleaser, but definitely a thinker's thriller. Next on the list is Tarot. This anthology series got dragged for being weird, but that's exactly why it's a hidden gem. This 7-episode series is a brilliant, twisted experiment where each episode revolves around a different character who receives a cursed tarot card prediction. The format itself is a double-edged sword. Anthologies are often judged by their weakest link. However, to dismiss the entire collection is to miss the point. The acting leans theatrical, the visuals get surreal, and the vibes are totally off in the best way. It doesn't hold your hand or tie everything up in a bow. Yes, some tales are stronger than others, but viewed as a whole, it's a dark gem that proves a low score can sometimes be a badge of honor for being uncompromisingly bold. Coming up next is The Heavenly Idol. The Heavenly Idol follows a high priest from another dimension, Rembrary, who finds himself in the middle of a battle with the devil, only to wake up in modern-day Seoul in the body of Weanu, a handsome but talentless member of the struggling K-pop group Wild Animal. The masterpiece here is Kim Min-yu's phenomenal comedic performance as Rembrary. His utter confusion as he navigates fan meet and greets, live broadcasts, and social media scandals is pure comedic gold. The low rating likely stems from viewers who wanted another standard idol fluff fantasy, but this drama delivered a chaotic blend of heavenly battles, a deeper critique of celebrity worship, and identity loss. If you're into weird concepts that surprisingly land, give it a proper watch. Another overlooked K-drama that deserved way better is LUCA: The Beginning. This one's for the sci-fi junkies. LUCA is gritty, grim, and full of rage, a superhero origin story that throws out Marvel gloss for raw human pain. It deals with genetic modification, corruption, and survival at all costs. The lead character, Geo, a man with extraordinary powers and no memory of his past, is constantly on the run from a shadowy organization that created him. His only ally is Gudam, a gritty detective whose parents disappeared after a connection to Geo years ago. Geo is not trying to be noble, he's trying to live, and that brutal honesty is what makes this series hit hard. It is not your typical action-packed sci-fi romp. It's a gut-wrenching exploration of what it means to be human. Another sci-fi entry that got unfair ratings is Rugal. Rugal is a high-octane cyberpunk action series that critics probably dismissed as style over substance. And yeah, they're not entirely wrong, but the style is absolutely stunning. The story follows Kang Gi-bom, an elite police officer who witnesses the murder of his wife and has his own eyes slashed by the criminal syndicate Argos. He is then recruited by Rugal, a special organization that gifts him with advanced bionic eyes and turns him into a human weapon. What follows is a relentless, gorgeously violent crusade for revenge. The masterpiece of Rugal is its absolute, unapologetic commitment to its aesthetic. It feels like a gritty graphic novel or a 90s action video game brought to life, complete with slick cybernetics, over-the-top villains, and brutally choreographed fight sequences. If you're into sleek visuals and non-stop action, this is your guilty pleasure turned actually good. Following that is Connect. Known for his transgressive, often shocking films, the legendary Japanese auteur Takashi Miike brings his unique vision to the K-drama world with Connect, and the result is beautifully bizarre. The story centers on Ha-dong-soo, a man who, after he is kidnapped by organ harvesters and has one of his eyes stolen, discovers that he can still see through his missing eye, which has now been transplanted into a seemingly ordinary office worker who happens to be a prolific serial killer. This drama is a masterpiece of the grotesque. It's a body horror meets detective thriller, a strange and unsettling narrative that constantly keeps you off balance. The low rating is understandable. The show is gory, weird, and disturbing. But for those who can stomach it, Connect offers a gripping look at obsession, deception, and ethical dilemmas, all filtered through Miike's signature surrealist lens. Next up on the list is Money Heist Korea. This one surely never stood a chance against the OG hype, but if you watch Money Heist Korea on its own terms, it's fire. The masterstroke of this adaptation isn't in changing the plot, but in changing the context. By setting the story in a near future where North and South Korea are on the brink of reunification and have established a joint economic area, the show introduces a layer of socio-political tension the original never had. The Heist team is composed of both North and South Korean, each with their own baggage, prejudices, and reasons for distrusting the system. The cast is stellar, including Yoo Ji-tae, Jeon Jong-seo, and Park Hae-soo, and the political undertones are way stronger here. The show transforms a thrilling caper into a uniquely Korean story about identity, history, and a fractured peninsula. It's not a mere copy, it's a conversation with the original, and a good one at that. Another entry on the list is Hellbound. If Hellbound didn't blow your mind, you probably weren't paying attention. The concept alone is wild. Demonic creatures start condemning sinners to hell out of nowhere. Society fractures into panic, cults, and factions, all claiming moral high ground. Critics called it overhyped violence, but they ignored its razor-sharp critique of mob mentality and fanaticism. This show feels eerily relevant. Each execution event goes viral, sparking live debates that mirror our real-world cancel culture and echo chambers. The show is less about the creatures and more about the darkness within humanity, a theme far more terrifying than any CGI demon. It's a profound, challenging work of art that was misunderstood as a simple creature feature. Coming up next is fresh and ferocious, Bargain. Bargain isn't just wild, it's straight up unhinged in the best way. The premise kicks off with a man who arrives at a shady motel thinking he's paying for a bargain, only to get lured into a black market organ trafficking ring. And then the building collapses mid-deal, trapping buyers, sellers, and victims under rubble in a terrifying survival scenario. Critics weirdly brushed it off as chaotic, but that chaos is the point. The camera work alone is revolutionary. Shot in what looks like a single continuous take, it drags you into the panic, the claustrophobia, the absolute moral collapse of everyone trapped inside. If you want your K-dramas polite and predictable, steer clear. But if you're up for a savage and genre-bending gut punch, Bargain is a masterpiece hiding behind a low score and a wicked smirk. And last but not the least on the list is Grid. If you want your sci-fi, existential, and mind-bendy, Grid is that sleeper hit everyone missed. It opens with a mysterious being called the Ghost, creating a planetary shield that saves Earth from solar annihilation, then vanishes for decades. Years later, she reappears, but this time helping a murderer escape. A detective and a government agent team up to hunt her down and unravel a massive conspiracy that spans time itself. The show's lower rating probably comes from its complicated plot, which involves time travel, paradoxes, and a story that isn't told in a straight line. It can be confusing if you're not paying close attention. Seongjin delivers a brooding performance, and the show's cold, minimalist vibe suits its themes. It's not here to spoon-feed you, but if you let it simmer, it'll wreck you in the best way. So what other underrated Korean drama do you think deserved better? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends.